Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video, we are going to discuss W.H. Auden's poem Funeral Blues. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin. W.H. Auden, popularly known as Winston Hugh Auden, was a prominent Anglo-American poet. He was born in England and later became a citizen of the US. His works often reflect the political and the social climate of his time, and he is considered one of the leading literary figures of the 20th century. Funeral Blues was written in 1936 and is a part of Auden's collection of poems titled 12 Songs. The poem explores the themes of grief, loss, and the overwhelming emotions that come along when you experience the death of a loved one. There is a kind of emotional intensity in the poem which makes it a powerful piece of literature and makes the readers connect with the poem at a deeper level. Now let us discuss the line-by-line meaning of the poem. Stop all clocks, cut off the telephone. So from the very beginning we see that the speaker is expressing a desire for complete stillness and silence in the face of a great loss or tragedy. He wants time to stand still and all communication to cease or stop. And this is what happens when you're really sad. You will see that you don't feel like talking to anyone and you don't like others also talking around you. You just want to sit quietly. Prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone. Silence the pianos with muffled drum. So the speaker wants even the usual regular sounds of everyday life, such as the barking of a dog, to be silenced. The mention of a juicy bone suggests a kind of distraction that would normally grab the dog's attention. Silence the pianos with muffled drum. The speaker over here is extending the call for silence to include also the musical instruments, that nothing should be making any kind of sound because pianos are mentioned specifically, and the muffled drum could be a metaphorical reference to a somber tone of the funeral drums or the beating of a heavy heart, how he's wanting any kind of sound to be stopped around him. Bring out the coffin, let the mourners come. So this line suggests the practice of a funeral. The coffin is to be brought out and the mourners are invited to come and pay their respects. This marks the beginning of the formal mourning process. So overall we see stanza 1 conveys a sense of intense and deep grief and the speaker's desire for a world which should be quiet. Now let's move into stanza 2. Let airplanes circle moaning overhead, scribbling on the sky the message he is dead. So the speaker is suggesting a kind of a dramatic and sorrowful display, imagining the airplanes flying in circles with a kind of a mournful sound which is symbolic of a way to mark a solemn occasion. The speaker is imagining the airplanes leaving a message in the sky announcing the death of his loved one. This could also be a way of expressing the impact of loss on a grand scale. How deep and big and huge is the impact of loss, that this is what he is desiring. That you must have observed sometimes in the sky there are certain kind of airplanes when they are they're flying in the sky, you will see it leaves behind a white mark. So perhaps that is coming to the mind of the poet and he is saying that, mark it out, announce it even in the sky that someone whom he really loved is dead. Put crepe boughs round the white necks of the public doves. So speaker is calling for a further visual representation of this mourning, how the doves, which are symbolic of peace, should have white crepe bows around them. Crepe is a type of fabric which is often associated with mourning due to its dark and somber appearance. Let the traffic policemen wear black cotton gloves. So even the everyday figures like the traffic policemen are requested to participate in mourning. The wearing of black cotton gloves is a traditional symbol of mourning, and the mention of the traffic policemen adds a touch of universality to the call of, collectively grieving over the loss of a near one. So these lines continue with the theme of the speaker's desire for a world to be transformed by grief and mourning, and with various elements of the environment and the society, they could all together participate to express this sorrow. Stanza 3. He was my north, my south, my east and west. You can see how the speaker is expressing the importance of the person who has passed away. The speaker makes use of the cardinal directions, that is the north, south, east and west, to emphasize the idea that this person who is now dead meant everything to him, providing a sense of direction and completeness about how important the person was who is now no more. My working week in my Sunday rest. The speaker extends the metaphor, portraying the deceased as not just a romantic partner but a fundamental part of his daily life. The person was the speaker's companion both in the daily routine of life and also on the leisure of Sundays. My noon, my midnight, my talk, my song. So this line further reinforces the idea of the person being complete, whole. They were present together at all times, in moments of brightness, that is noontime, in moments of darkness, that is at midnight, in conversation, that is while they would talk together, and in moments of joy and expression, that is they would sing together and express their happiness and joy. I thought that love would last forever. I was wrong. So the final line delivers a powerful emotional moment. The speaker expresses his disappointment and realization that even love is something that is not eternal. It will come to an end with the death of the beloved. It conveys a sense of heartbreak and how shattered the speaker is. So these lines beautifully capture the depth of the speaker's connection with the departed and the deep sense of grief that comes along with the realization that this connection has suffered because of death. Let us now look at the final lines of the poem. The stars are not wanted now. Put out everyone. The speaker is expressing a desire for a world where there should be no beauty, no light of any kind. The notion of putting out everyone suggests that even the stars should be made to vanish from the sky. He is not liking the way the stars are adding to the beauty of the sky, because you will literally not like anything when you are in a state of sadness. Pack up the moon and dismantle the sun. The speaker extends this desire to the moon and the sun, saying and expressing the depth of his grief. He is telling, pack up the moon and dismantle the sun, which implies to erase any kind of source of light and warmth in the world. Pour away the ocean and sweep up the wood. Wood over here means a forest area. So the speaker emphasizes the extent of his mourning, his sadness. He's saying, pour away the ocean, which suggests a desire to eliminate the vast and seemingly endless elements of nature. Sweep up the wood could be a metaphor for clearing away the forest, removing any kind of natural beauty and life or in any form that exists in the world, for nothing now can ever come to any good. So this line serves as a conclusion to the speaker's lament. It captures the sense of hopelessness, the despair that he is feeling, suggesting that in the aftermath of the loss, nothing positive or meaningful can be expected or achieved. So you can imagine how low he is feeling with the loss of his loved one. So these lines vividly convey the speaker's grief and the desire for a world where any kind of beauty, even in the natural elements, which once brought joy to them, should be completely erased and swiped off. So let us now see what are the major themes of the poem. Firstly, grief and loss. The predominant theme in the poem is the speaker's deep and overwhelming grief in the face of loss of his loved one. The speaker describes that the departed person was someone who meant everything to him. He uses examples to express the completeness that they had and shared in the relationship and the intense sorrow we find running throughout the poem. Secondly, there is a desire for silence, which is another significant theme of the poem, where the speaker desires for a world which should be quiet. There are various requests to silence made, that is, to the clock, to the airplanes, the piano, and even the pack of celestial bodies like the moon and the sun. The speaker wants to erase or silence everything that once brought joy to their relationship and life. He wants the external environment to mirror their internal emotional state. And the final lines of the poem convey a sense of hopelessness and despair. He expresses the belief that even after such a deep loss, nothing good can happen again. This theme is characterized by the speaker's pessimistic or a kind of a negative view to the future. He thinks that he will not be able to collect his shattered pieces together because of the absence of the loved one. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching. Bye.